Hello, you're watching Here Today, Storm Tomorrow for January the 29th, 2015. We currently have 2 storms active around the world at this time, and we also have 1 invest that's currently active too. So let's take a look, as we always do at the beginning, the satellite views. First of all, looking at the Eastern Pacific, you can see one system in particular in the eastern part of the ocean, extending from around 5 degrees north all the way to 35 degrees north, affecting the coast of Mexico and California, the southern part of California, affected by rainfall there. Obviously nothing tropical, but interesting note nonetheless. Eastern Pacific, apart from that, is very quiet indeed. The Atlantic, you can see that frontal system which was part of the nor'easter recently in the United States and Canada. That's moving off out to sea now. It's extending all the way from just north of the Dominican Republic all the way towards beyond Newfoundland in the North Atlantic Ocean, and you can also see the remnants of that storm system that delivered heavy snowfall to Boston and the areas around there, in particular the hardest hit, and the remnants of that are still in the area in the northeastern United States and in Atlantic Canada. The West Pacific, there are small areas of thunderstorms over northwestern parts of Borneo and near the equator over the Western Pacific Ocean itself, but very little really at this time. The Indian Ocean is still where it's all going on. The tropical storm Diamondra is very large but not very strong, more on that shortly. And also we've got Eunice, which is pretty much the opposite, more compact, not very small but more compact, and very becoming very strong, I should say, and that's likely to continue over the next 48 hours, but again more on that shortly. Apart from that, isolated thunderstorms here, there and elsewhere over parts of perhaps Madagascar and maybe a little bit in the northern Indian Ocean as well. Looking towards Australia, there are some thunderstorms around the Northern Territories extending towards the northern tip of Queensland, and indeed affecting the southern coast of Papua New Guinea as well. And 99p, the invest located south of the Solomon Islands right now in the South Pacific, the Coral Sea. So let's take a look at the individual storms. Diamondra is currently located in the South Indian Ocean. It's weakening. Winds of 45 miles per hour, reached a peak in the last 24 hours of 50 miles per hour. That's got a pressure now of 993 millibars. Its position is 19.9 degrees south, 80.2 degrees east. Eunice, on the other hand, is strengthening rather quickly. Winds of 105 miles per hour now, and a pressure of 956 millibars expected to intensify. Its position is 14.2 degrees south, 64.8 degrees east. And Invest 99p, which currently has winds of 20 miles per hour and a pressure of 1010 millibars. That hasn't changed upon yesterday. Its location is 17.7 degrees south, 157.8 degrees east. So let's take a look at the forecast then. Diamondra is expected to continue weakening and eventually dissipate in the next 48 hours. We'll probably lose tropical storm status before then as it heads towards the southeast. As for Eunice, that's likely to continue to strengthen as it heads towards the southeast, maybe a bit further east than southeast, as it heads out to sea, and could peak as a Category 4 storm in the next 48 hours. That may even be conservative. If it really gets its act together, perhaps it could even have a shot of another Category 5 storm in the South Indian Ocean, but that's speculation at this time. As far as the probabilities of it affecting the island of Rodrigues, which is just towards the direct south of the storm at this time, it's likely to pass quite far to the east and probably won't be too much effects from the storm when it does make its closest approach, and as a result there are no warnings in effect at this time. So looking at the satellite imagery, you can see Diamondra here on my right hand side. It's got a rather weak centre at this time. The strongest part of the storm, I suppose you could say, is in the northern band, but apart from that it is a weak storm and weakening. Eunice, on the other hand, very strong around its central core. The eye of the storm is not particularly clear. It wasn't clearer in the past, but not so much right now, and that may reappear again very soon. Perhaps it's having a bit of a replacement cycle of some description as it heads towards the southeast, but intensification is on the cards as it enters a nice, good, conducive environment for development. As far as sea surface temperatures are concerned, around the Mozambique Channel, around 27 to 28 degrees, warmer around the coast of Madagascar, 28 degrees along pretty much all sides of Madagascar. Around Diamondra, the temperatures are around 26 degrees, Eunice around 28. Around Australia's northern coast, high temperatures there of 30 degrees Celsius in the sea, out at sea around 29. Over 99p, sea surface temperatures around 29 to 30 degrees Celsius there as well, very warm. The Western Pacific the same, in the tropical region 29 to 30, maybe a little bit less there depending where you cut off the tropical part, further north of course. And over the South China Sea, barely holding on to 26 degrees at the coldest part of the year over there. Looking at the wind shear then over the North Indian Ocean right now, you can see it decreasing near Eunice, especially towards the east and southeast I suppose. It is increasing for Diamondra, so that's likely to contribute to its quick and speedy demise. Then shear is favourable and possibly becoming even better for Cyclone Eunice at this time as well. The model runs, just to mention those, there is a new low pressure system expected to form next week over the Mozambique Channel, could strike Madagascar as a weak tropical storm. 99p is likely to linger over the Coral Sea in the next few days and could also form into a tropical storm in around 5 days time, maybe a little bit less than that, not far from New Caledonia. So now let's take a look at what happened on this day in the world of storms with Daniel Hudson.
Hello, this is Daniel Hudson, and here's another look back what happened on this day, the 28th of January, in the world of storms. Here at Force 13, we're building a database of what happened each and every day in the storm record, dates of formation, dissipation, landfalls, and anything else of particular interest. Currently we stand at 3,023 injuries, and that's ever growing. On January 29th, Tropical Storm Baletsi made landfall in Madagascar as a tropical storm in 2006, and then Tropical Storm Dora formed in the southwest Indian Ocean the very next year. Finally, in 2009, Cyclone Hetty dissipated in the South Pacific. Well, that's all from me for today, and now we go back to the studio. Hope you've enjoyed.
And welcome back. You're watching Here Today, Storm Tomorrow for the 29th of January with myself, Nathan Foy. You saw Daniel Hudson there with the On This Day feature. So let's take a look at what's happening in Predictor Season 2015. The current standings show in first place Anon, that's a creative name, with 28 points. In second place, Someone's Cousin with 30 points. In third place, Ivan W with 70 points. In fourth place is A Smiley Face with 138 points. In fifth, Toy Bonnie with 170 points. And in sixth place, Cyclone Matthew with 172. As far as Predictor Season 2015 worldwide is concerned, in first place is Mega Cyclone 444 with 270 points. In second place is myself, Force 13, with 284. In third place is 54 apparently, with 300 points. In fourth place, Hurricane Predictor 10 with 308. In fifth, Daisy with 310. And in sixth place is someone who's rather creatively called themselves One with 312 points. The difference between the two, Predictor Season 2015 is where you can predict for each basin in the Northern Hemisphere, so that's the Atlantic, East Pacific, West Pacific and the North Indian Ocean. As far as the other one is concerned, Predictor Season 2015 worldwide, you can predict the worldwide storm activity, how many storms we'll see around the world in 2015, the calendar year. And you can do both of those, either or both, on the website force13.com/PAS2015.html. Looking at the storm totals for this calendar day, we've had 6 tropical storms that have formed so far, 3 of those becoming Category 1 cyclones. Of course, Eunice became the latest one to do that. One of those, a major storm, Eunice could become number 2, and one of those becoming a Category 5 cyclone. That, of course, was Bansi not too long ago. Tropical storms, fairly average for this time of year, 1 behind 1992 and 2013. 3 hurricanes, or hurricane equivalent storms so far. That's higher than 2014, 2013 and 1996, our featured seasons, and 1 behind 1992, which turned out to be the most active season for tropical storms on record with 103. Of course, 2014 finished up with 80 for those of you who are curious. And that is all for now. Just a quick mention that Force 13 is likely to be launching a blog feature next week. Not entirely sure just when, but at this time we are looking for people who may want to contribute to that, either with experiences of storms that they've seen or something just generally related to weather or hurricanes, or perhaps personal experiences with those and their history of storm tracking perhaps. Anything. I'm open to all ideas. Please send a message if you're interested to force13@hotmail.co.uk. That's all for now. We'll see you again soon. Thank you. Goodbye.